Good morning. Who's that? Can't see who that is. We got a couple people showing in. Get a hook, yeah. All right, let's see. Morning, Peter. Morning, Vasal. Hey, Vasal, that was a nice little step-by-step you did yesterday on that. Worked good. Hang on, let's see. Where's my red? Hey, Jody. Harry, I think I see Harry on here. All right, we're gonna do another session today. This one's a little more on the advanced side, intermediate, but hey, Michael, we are back for a fly attack. There you go, Alan. Today we're gonna tie in the hold on. Forgot to grab these. Pretty much all of these are your these are all going to be what kind of time today. They're the quill wings. They're a fun little pattern. They can be tricky, just because there's a finesse to them. There is a particular technique. So get off of my face right there. Yeah, but tying something like that's a married slip wing for the married quills. Really, there's a lot of them that are. We're gonna do this basic one right here today. This is the basic one we're gonna do. And now I had a question right there. It's just your. Yeah, just a simple quill, and then you can advance it from that point by using slips. So breaking them off into different colors and things like that. Today, all you're pretty much going to need today is just a matching pair of slips from your wings. To show you what I'm talking about. You got two matching pair of duck quills, not duck quills, excuse me, turkey feathers. You could do turkey feathers. And I don't know if I've got matching pair on these though. But if you have a matching pair of these, you can do that. I don't know if I do on these or not. There's so many given to me that were, I don't know if I do have a matching pair. But, that's alright, I'll be able to still show you. Here we go. There's a matching pair right there. Good. But yeah, Randy was asking yesterday about what are some substitutes. I use I use duck quills. I use goose quills. You know, you can use them for anything. A lot for my salmon flies I'm using for the goose and stuff like that. But today, like I said, it's just going to be a bonus. Got pretty much all the basic quills down, or wings down. And if you have any questions on those, by all means, just let me know. I can try to answer those. But yeah, today we will tie in using the quills off of this. And again, this is kind of like the caddis. Your body is going to be tied in first on these, and then you come back, and these are usually the last thing you add in on this particular fly. A lot of people use these for they are wet flies because they will absorb water. Ray Bergman, he goes way back with and some of his, but most of my Ray Bergman patterns I tie on a size 10. This one I've got in the vise is a size 8, just to make it look a little larger. Don't know why that thing is so shiny. Oh, I know why. It's because I'm wearing my black hoodie. That's right. So I might not need that one. Alright, so we're just going to jump right into it. So I'm going to go ahead and get my thread base started. I'm doing touch and turns here by holding your thread at an angle, and your thread kind of lays right on top of it. And I'm using an 8/0. Come right up there. Got my my no tie zone right there for the this piece right here. I'm not tying right there because that's going to be my head. And let's see if I can just do this so that way maybe that'll. I'm gonna try this so that way it quits. Hey, Randy made it. Randy made it. Maybe that'll. No, that ain't gonna work. That's alright. Y'all be able to see it. Alright, just in the nook. How long you been on? I've been on for maybe a couple minutes, not much. All I did, Randy, is just put in the hook and showed her some of the materials. These are my duck quills that I have. Duck quills, and for sake of, wings from any other bird you can use. I've got those. You could use. Any wings. I've processed a lot of ducks and I get a lot of skins in. But if you have a skin and it's got wings on it, wings from a pheasant or wings from a golden pheasant, all you need is one from the right wing, one from the left wing. And the reason for that is because they both, the way they curve. Let me go ahead. I gotta get this. I'll show you why. Because the way the feathers are, you have to get them to go in the same direction. Yeah, she's back there making cards. She makes cards. But if you get two, let's see, if you get two feathers that are going the same direction, that pair up, actually all of mine, which one pairs up with this one? Okay, for instance, if you get two of these, zoom in here, see if I can show this on camera. On one side, you have this dull Well, it's kind of shiny, but it's got this side has more of the natural fluff. It's just a very softer side. This side is a lot slicker and shinier. And that's the inside of the feather. So when you look at one of the wings, let me pull the wings out. Check this bag real quick. Okay, when you've got your wings off your bird, this is going to be your right side, this is going to be your left side, or vice versa for you, how you're looking. And then what you're going to do is on these wings, you're going to pull one of these quills out. And they, just the way the natural curves are of the feathers, these curve up this way, this way. Now, if I was to take them and set them on top of each other, let's pull one out from here. There's a lot goes into these slip wings because you have to get your feathers correct. So I'm just pulling this quill out, maybe. Just use my scissors. Pull one out from this side and pull the same feather out from the other side. So now, if you notice, they both kind of opposite each other. They don't stack, and that's what you want, because when you flip them with the same matching sides on the outside as a whole feather, you want them to line up on the outside. And that's what we're doing. We're not laying them this way. We're not going to try to lay them this way to get. They won't line up. So we get them to line up just like so on the outside, so that way the same colors matches here as it does here, and it's not vice versa where you have the matching color here and then the duller side on the outside. So that's the point of getting matching quills. You match them up, pair them up, and then, you know, I tied these together so when I do these quills, they're already together. I'm not having to search through and cut loose and stuff like that. So that's matching up your quills, and that's how we're gonna do this. Actually, I need to stay out. So what I'll do is I'll take my scissors, close this up, take my scissors, and usually you want to go the hook gap. That's how wide you want your scissors, or your is the gap of the hook there. The width of your feather, and a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll use their hook, come in and use the hook gap. I don't like that, so I'll come in kind of where I think it should be. Pull that loose right there and give a snip. And keep it separated. Keep it over to this side. That's that side. And then come over to the matching side. Come in right there. That's where I want it. Give a snip. Like so. And now I have a slip on both sides. Just like so. Just like that. Okay? Now, these are really wide, so this is where you gotta make sure if you do this, you keep everything the right and the left side. Now I'm gonna zoom in. So we have the matching slips just like that. And they're really thick. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull some off because I don't want it too thick here. You just take your bodkin, and if it's too thick, and then poke through, run across. Well, just like so, and then squeeze, and then you can pull that off, and now it's just a little bit thinner. But this black hoodie is really messing everything up. It is. It's causing it to be too bright. And then take the other one, the other quill, and do the same with it. Pull it off and keep them separated, because if you need another quill from there, you're gonna want to add to it, because these quills marry. Like so. And then you line the tips up, check to see if you got the right thickness. And then this one is not the right thickness. You can see how I've got a couple extra there. So you just come through, poke those out, and then pull it out. Now, alright, so here's my quills. That's usually how the wings are set on one of your flies. So what I want to do is the very most important part is keeping those tips aligned. You want to make sure those stay even with each other. Okay? So take your time, make sure those stay aligned, and then grab them by the tips. Now, you come in and you get your length. That's about usually where I want to go with them, because they are going to kick up. So, and then place your fingers right up under the eye, and this is where you squeeze, kind of like we did on that elk hair, caddis. You squeeze really tight, come up. I gotta come back out. I want you guys to see this. Come up, do a pin trap. This is where, and then you just drop your bobbin, but your fingers are holding the thread, and then you just release your bobbin like so, and let it drop. And you do one more wrap, a little bit of tension, another pin trap, and this, squeezing the feathers, you let that bobbin drop as you pull this up. As you pull a little piece of the feather up. And then you come back up and pull up. You're pulling up, not down. Do another tight wrap. Keep pressure on it, just like so. And then you're going to get your wing set like so. Now this is set really far back. That's my fault. Let me see if I can fix it. Don't try this at home. Okay, we got lucky. Now what I like to do is extra is, let me find my tweezers. So I'll come in, hold your wings, and squeeze right above that hook. Just get it right above that hook. And then give another wrap. Just get tight, and then start to secure it in, just like so. And then take your scissors, hold on to the wings. Do not let go of these wings. These wings, you have, if you cut, it'll shift them. And just give yourself a little snip right there. Clean that up. Now this is advanced technique. I say advanced, just it's a little more than just the hair. You got to take your time on these, and then take your fingernails, and then any other loose fibers, cram them up. Bring your thread around to the back of the eye, and start from the back of the eye and wrap back to lock those fibers in to build your head. Give yourself, push them up, and then that's when you can really lock all those fibers in. And then there's where you're going to sit with your quill wings, like so. Now, to me, they are a little too low on the hook right there, but they're in now, so you can't mess with them too much because they will split. But that's pretty much basic slip wing. Okay, we'll do it again. time I'll use turkey feather. Yeah, just to show you that. Okay, let me use a different color thread. Stand out a little bit more off this black. Okay. All right. Take your feathers, whichever ones. Now, typically, there's an inside to the feather. And to do wing, the inside of the feather, let's see if I can show this. You can kind of see how this part of the feather curls up. You really don't want this side. And it's the inside of the feather. This is the longer fibers. You don't really want that. You're wanting these shorter, stiffer fibers that their curve goes down like this. And that's really what you're wanting to stick with on both sides. This one's a little rough, but steam job would fix that. But yeah, and then when you do this, run all those tips together because you want nice tips at the end of your feather. And a lot of, you hear on some of these how these wings are married. As long as it's this style feather, you can separate these all day long, but they will marry back together. That's just the way they're kind of like a Velcro. The way these feathers are designed. You've got this amazing Velcro to them. But anyways, so you do that. So then you pick this side, and let's just say we're gonna go right up in here. Pull these down. I'm gonna pull this little slip off. Let's say we'll go right there. Take your snip, pull off just like so. Set it to the side. Grab your other feather. I like to flip it around, so I'm cutting from the same side. I'm cutting from this side, but I just roll the feather over to the back, and then find some of the fibers that look good to me. Right in here. Pull those back. Cut a slip. Pull that off. Now set those aside. Put it on its back. This is where time consuming on these feathers is. You just line up the tips. Get your tips lined up. To learn a lot about trout flies, Don Bastian, he's all I'm doing is straightening them out. Don Bastian was an amazing tire with these slip wings and with Ray Bergman's patterns, and just getting these nice. Now this one is a little too long, so I'm going to come through, make it even right there, pinch it up, pull it off. So now I've got two slips that are about the same. And another tip is this is preference, but some question whether the tips should point down or point up. From my understanding, it's really just on preference. I personally like them to point up, so I always go up with the tips, further tips out. That's the way I like it, and then let them stagger down. It's just how I like them. So now, depending on how you tie it in straight against the deal here, it's going to kind of have this curve to it, or this. That's how it's going to lay on the hook. Tie it here. You got to remember that wherever you bring this down, that wire down, it's going to crimp it right there. I say wire, it's the thread. So, but same method. Make sure your thread's where you want it. Okay. Keep a hold of the back of the tips. Get your length. Squeeze up. Move your fingers up there because we're going to have to do a pinch wrap. And let's see if I can move this so you guys can see the pinch wrap. Okay, so let me readjust. Got right here. Get your fingers up close. Bring your thread up. Run it back in between my thumb and my index finger. Let it fall. Just let it fall on its own. Squeezing. Bring back up. Pull in a little. Do another pinch wrap. Make sure it's on the other side of your thread over the eye. Let it drop. Bring up and pull up, and you'll see continuing pressure, and then you pull this up right like that. And it doesn't always work. This is the frustrating part of these quills, is sometimes you got to do it multiple times, but keep this twisted here while keeping pressure on those fingers and locking it in, and then take a look. Okay, and that's where we're at right there. So not over yet. Keeping this nice and tight. Pressure on the quills back there. Make your adjustments. Tight, giving tighter wraps. Get to the head. Come up. Let's come over a little. Come up. Now, a lot of people say you come in with a couple swoops with this. You can do that. Come in, but you want to do it at an angle. Just come in, snip, clean up the eye right here, any that are close to it, and then run your thread starting at the, let's see how I can do that. Let me see, this angle will do it. Come to the back of the eye right here, and you're cleaning, you're going backwards. Start at the base of the eye, and you work back to where your tie-in point was, and that's going to really help lock all those threads in where you want them. And then this way you create your head, keeping pressure. Squeeze your nails around the eye to clean up the eye. Helps have a nice head. And once you get a good base right there, locked in, then that's where you're going to have, let's put this up, a nice wing that sits above the hook. Oh, let me get some light on it. Like so. And then this is where you can manipulate. What I like to do is hold here, take the end of those and pull up and bend a little. Get a nice arch. Like so. Oops. See, and they split on you. Be careful with that. Just take your time, put them back, try to marry them back together. They will go back together. And this is sometimes part of the process. You just get them, separate them, put them back in line, and they go back together. Like so. And that is your slip wings. That is eventually, I mean, again, your body is created up to this point. You do everything first, then you do your slip wing. And you know, and usually that's not the end of it. You can always like for the March Brown, there's patterns out there that you know, I love me some soft hackles. So let's just take this mallard flank here, and this is where you can, you know, further add to this wing, give it some legs, you know, give it some movement in the water. All of the flies, all of tying these flies is all about giving movement and action in the water. So what I did is I just took, like I showed you yesterday on the soft hackle, take the tips right here. Where they go? Pull these, bring these back, like so. Back this up a little bit, like that, and find your scissors. Nip the end. Create you that little triangle. It's a little too big. Get your thread, tie that in just like so. Get a few wraps. Pull the feather back a little bit. Kind of, you're breaking that stem just a little bit, not a lot. Grab your hackle pliers. Remember, now yesterday, back out just a little bit. Hold it up, 12 o'clock position. And you just kind of work them back nice and easy because you don't want to pull the feather out. Get to the 6 o'clock position. Make sure it stays straight. Make sure all the fibers are going in the same direction. Wet your fingers, pull them back, straight up to 12 o'clock position. Keeping it straight. Going around the other side of that thread there. And we're not going to do too many wraps. You do however many you want. That's going to be good to me, just one wrap. Pull my thread up, pull this out to the side, do a thread wrap there. I'm locking that hackle in. One more, like so. I'm going to pull it all back. Get on the other side of that fiber there. Pull it all back, work my thread back to the eye. And you got your tag here from what you didn't want. Separate your thread so you don't cut it. Nip off the excess and just create that head. So now I've got my split wings with mallard flank on there just to give it there. And as Jody's asking, he's asking, the tail is the same way. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna mess this all up, but let's just pull this all out of the way. And I'm going to jump this to the back. This is not how you do this. Do not follow this step. This is not correct. Typically, you put your whip finish in there, you're done. I'm just going to go ahead and jump this back to show how the tails are done as well. This is not your standard method. Again, not your standard method. But, so yeah, I've got some extra pieces here from the other slips I've already pulled off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find some that match up, and this one right here. So we got this. Give me a second. Let me get enough here. Okay. So yeah, the tails are done the same exact way, Jody. You just don't need as much material. You line up the tips. You get those where they're lined up. Let's see. Get that closer. Zoom in a little. I got my tips lined up. Where are you at? Right here. Get those lined up where they're nice and straight. Like I said, you only need 2 or 3 fibers. You don't need very many. And then figure out your length that you want for the tail. Let's I'm gonna nip this a little. You do it the same way you do the wings. You hold tight on where you want it. Let me pull some of them fibers back so you can see. Put it right here. Hold tight. Pinch wrap up. Let the bobbin drop. Hold those. Do it again right there. Let go. And you got your wing in there, your tail in there, just like that. And then you just wrap this up to create a little body bulk if you want. Try to get around all these other fibers that I already put in, because again, your tail would be first on this one. You would do your tail first and everything else. We'll just call that good, just like so. Pull these out. Let me get this back up to the front. Just says to show kind of what this fly looks like. Yeah, we'll just do that right there. And then that's kind of what you're looking at right there. Hold on, Randy, let's see. And that's going to be what you're looking at right there. Get your brush that out. Steal one of your wife's makeup brushes or buy your own. Yeah, one of my shadow brushes. There you are. Let's just nip that off. Just like so. And there you go. Okay, so it says, let's go back, read the question. Are the tails the same way? Yes. Does that wing stay together after you fish it? Yes. And over time, you know, if it gets hit by a fish, you know, and it hits those wings, yeah, it's probably going to split them. But eventually, the way they're designed. All right, Peter, we'll see you, buddy. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, they'll go back together. Or they won't. You know, and then that just, you know, that's just the longevity of the fly. But that, guys, is your split wing and split, or I say split, not your split, your slip wing. There you go. Had to think what I was saying. So, but yeah, that is, like I said, you know, it's a little more than your, you're welcome, Michael. Yeah, it's a little bit more than the beginner ones, as in your pair post, like we went over, then your split hair wing, then your split feather wing, and then your caddis wings. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys got something out of that, and you guys can all learn and go reference back to that. And if you are in the group and you see someone needing that and they didn't see the classes and they come in, you know, a month from now or whatever, refer them back to the guide section. This is where all these videos are going to be for the for all the wings that I did, all these lives I did. So I'm going to have to work on this. Yeah, Randy, and don't get frustrated. These wings right here can frustrate you more than anything. And then once you get pretty good at them, then you can start creating the multicolored wings like so. Once you get good, and then you can start marrying them together. And as you see on this one, my tail's really thick on this one, but this was in my earlier trials. But you got this one, that's when you start marrying different colors of these wings together. And then you get fun, creative, and then maybe you get sucked into the world of Atlantic salmon flies, which is is crazy. But yeah, again, yeah, you're welcome, Jody. And we'll see you guys later. Y'all have a happy new year. Be safe. And we'll see you guys another night or another day. All right, y'all have a good one.